Welcome to Self-Discovery Media Network, formerly known as Self-Discovery Radio. Each week we bring you illuminating shows from those making a difference in the lives of others. They've taken their own journey. They're here to share their skills, their wisdom to help you on yours. You can see more about us at selfdiscoverymedia.com, and please listen to our wonderful collection of shows. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Choose Positive Living here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sara. And my guest today is also a podcast host. She has her own show. She's a great motivator. She's a wonderful inviter. She's a real good supporter and a fabulous celebrator. And we're going to be hearing all about her show, why she does it, the kind of people she has on, the work that she does, and everything that she's about. Her name is April Mahoney. Her mission is to encourage and develop people through kindness, community, personal growth, to want to do better, to do better, to do better. It's Good Persons Productions, and she calls her following brains because she likes to actually ignite their brain actually into action. What a concept! Plugging in the brain, having it connect with the heart, having it lift the spirit into action, tapping into some soul wisdom so that we can become better people and make this world a better place to live in because we've become awesome. April, welcome to the show.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me, Sara Troy. I listen to your show and you are a wonderful communicator. I just find such fascination in all the things that you've done and that you've been able to accomplish. So this is great to be under your tutelage for a few minutes here as we interview.
Well, you had me on your show, which was great, and thank you very, very much for that. It's not often the tables turn, but it's really nice when it is. And, you know, we've both got a passion, and that passion is that we want to share the stories of the people that are out there making a difference in the lives of others. And it doesn't matter how big or small it is, isn't it? It's when people have chosen to step out and do something for others because they've embraced who they are and what their instrument is. It really is exhilarating, isn't it?
It's overwhelming. There's so many people out there and they have such intriguing stories. A lot of times, though, I find that they like to put their business or profession instead of in front of who they are.
Yes.
And people want to connect with the human being. They want to connect with the soul. They want to be with you on your journey, on your transition, whether it's to rise up if you're leveling out, or sometimes you have to step back and fall down. But wherever it is, they want to engage on that more so than, you know, how you sell widgets.
Yes. I mean, the thing is, there's trillions of people out there all promoting their business, and why should people come to you? And if they've heard your story of how you got there, why you chose this path, the skills and the tools that you learned that now is a service to you, you know, that I think is more connective than just another blah, blah, blah ad.
Right.
You know,
right.
I want to know who you are. Can I hear you? Is this something that I can connect with you? Are you speaking to me? Because then when I come to you, I feel I already know you. And I feel that you will take the time to know me. Right?
Exactly.
And that's important.
Exactly. And that's what's important. Again, it's the connectivity. That's how we are going to come together as a people. We have to understand each other's struggles, our cultures, our poverty, our wealth, all of that makes us who we are as human beings. And so it's very important that, again, that you tell your story, that you connect with people, maybe even someone that you didn't know. They'll have an aha moment. You know, or an experience. I've had phenomenal guests on my shows that could never have lived their lives in a million lifetimes. And they're able to share that with other people, and it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. So I love it.
I have a few people that definitely, you know, stay with you, and I refer to a lot on other shows because of their story. And one of them right now is young Keshi. She was on America's Got Talent a couple of years ago. Her story is extraordinary, not because she's got a beautiful talent and a beautiful voice. It's that she's a burn victim from a plane crash. 109 people went down.
Right, I saw her. Yeah.
Right. And she's 65% burnt all over her body. You know, very clearly, she's had hundreds of operations, but you know, there is no masking it.
Right.
And for her to have the courage to get up there on America's Got Talent and
I
say,
know.
this is me, and singing is what got me through it. And she went all the way to the finals. They have a champion show on right now this week, and she got the golden buzzer from Simon.
Yeah, from Simon, yeah.
And the thing is, it's not because she's the burn victim. She's talented. All her experiences, everything she's ever been through comes out in her song, in her music. And you look at her, and I can tell you, I'll be interviewing again in March. This will be the third time. She is, for her, the gratitude in living, in life, in the exuberance of having this second life. It's like, it wasn't my time to die. I was given the gift of life. I'm going to go and live it. Now, whether you're facing such a challenge or not, isn't that an inspiration for us to look at our own lives and go, can I not face my own challenges?
Right. Can I come up from out of the ashes? I know I have, I can think of my last 3 guests. I just did one with Cece Espew, and she was a United States Marine that turned convict. She got involved in drug conspiracy, and she was in jail for 2 years. And one of those years, it was solitary confinement. Now she is an outstanding photographer and working with others to get their clemency, because the governor gave her clemency. I had another woman that lost 2 children in the fire. The house blew up. I have another gentleman that he was locked in the closet for 3 years. So again, those are things that I have never endured, but the passion and the compassion, and the love and the drive and the ability to thrust forward and forgive is incredible. It is incredible. The stories, the world should know, and they should definitely hear about them. So again, I did see her on America's Got Talent, and she is extremely talented
and a wonderful person inside and out. She truly is. And you say those stories. There was a movie made, Let It Go, Just Let It Go, and I interviewed the person who it was about, and he was a pastor, and he was in the car with 2 children and a pregnant wife, and a young drunk guy crashed into them, killing his wife, the baby, 2 of his children. And he said, I cannot stand up there on the culprit and say, forgive, if I don't choose to forgive.
Absolutely.
And he ended up not only forgiving the young man, but helping him change his life and go in a different direction. I'm a mother of 3. I don't know. Would I have that courage? I never want to find out. But, again, it comes back to those questions, doesn't it? Because this is why we do this. It is to inspire you. It is to inspire you to look at your own challenges and how you can work your way through that. But it is also that conversation of who are we to judge. You don't know somebody's story until they've walked. You've heard their story from their own shoes, so to speak. And I think I really do these because I want the thing of judgment to be gone. When you know what really is going on in someone's life, it opens up so much more to the way you look at other people's lives. And before you jump in there with judgment, why don't you try and hear their story of why they are and where they are?
Judgment is a way of testing boundaries and establishing boundaries, because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So again, I don't know if I just jump in right away. I don't want to say, if I'm being authentic, it is a judgment, but it's based off my experience. It's based off my knowledge, my wisdom. And if I am introduced to a situation or to individuals that awaken that open that change that, that's great. But people, to ask them not to be judgmental, that's a huge ask, because
I know.
it's only based off their life experience. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. For sure.
We always say when you're pointing a finger, there's 3 pointing back at you. And it's like, we don't know what we would do in that situation. We don't know what choices because people make choices based on where they're at. The knowledge that they have. And I think, everything comes down to the choices we make or the choices we abstain from making, because that's a choice in itself. And the more we know, the better educated we are to make a choice. In other words, we've ignited those brains.
Right? Exactly. And that's why I call my listeners on my show brains. That's why I branded them that. For the 8 years that I have been on the edge with April Mahoney, I've had such a wide variety of guests and topics, and I brush my show with a very broad stroke. I don't do a lot of politics, because it makes my stomach hurt.
How could you keep up with it right now anyway?
And then I don't do celebrity gossip because I have access to very high profile celebrities, but I honor their space. They may want to say something inappropriate. They may not want to have their makeup on. They
Right.
may be having an argument with their spouse. I'm not going to show up in the world telling their business.
No.
But if there's great engaging people,
Yes.
brains. I want people that have the capacity to edit and filter information, the bandwidth to agree to disagree and not be disagreeable.
Right.
To want to learn, to want to expand, to want to know, to take a chance. And I've been so fortunate that, 35,000 people have tuned in all over the world: Sweden, South Dakota, love you in Canada, Mexico, all of these. To connect with other brains that want that like-minded experience. I've been very fortunate. I created my own award show.
I like
It's
that.
called the Edgy Brain Awards, and we just had that. I gave out beautiful trophies and certificates for people that follow the show, like the show, most engaging. I also do podcast potlucks, where I will bring in subject matter experts and we will vibe about certain things. I've got one coming up this weekend. It's going to be hilarious. I've got all comedians. I can't wait to laugh.
Yes.
And then I also like to connect my former guests with other former guests, because again, this is how we build a web.
Yes. Yes.
This is very important. Each
Yes.
one teach one. There's so many people that have, been loving to me and giving me referrals and clients and, opportunities, and I must pay that forward. I must pay that forward.
And that's something very, very important in our industry. It's not me, mine, and own. It is collaboration. It is sharing. I love connecting people. And the thing is, in doing this job, we know, don't we? We know who's going to click. I also love people bringing them back together and doing roundtables.
Yes.
And, because that there's a wonderful synergy, but diversification enough on their point of view to be able to open it up and form a conversation and look at it from different perspectives, which is fabulous. And, it's not being afraid to take on any, but we're not about, I call it the CNN effect, take a pimple and make it into a volcanic eruption. We're into, the organic conversations, really addressing things as they are, but it's not about the sensationalism. People get that all the time. We like to keep it real, don't we? Keep it organic, keep it real, keep it honest, keep it truthful.
And the thing about that is that there's glitches. There's going to be mistakes, but that is like life.
Yes.
I tell people that do their vision boards, I said, you never put an obstacle or a bump in the road. Everything is just a wonderful, vision of what it's going to be and how it's going to blossom. To me, that's not organic.
Yeah.
Because again, you're going to get some bad seeds in that crop no matter what.
Yes.
So we really need to work together, tell people's story, let them tell their story, have that aha moment. I like raw interviews just like you. I don't want it scripted. No. I could send someone my bio. I could send them, my resume if I want to do that. But if I want to have a real conversation, I like to put my guests to the test too, because if you are the subject matter expert,
right,
the approach to success.
Yes.
How are you coaching someone? If you're a coach, you've got someone in the palm of your hands.
Right.
They're looking for you to change their life. You have to be serious about that. If you're a psychologist or a weight loss person, whatever, people are entrusting you. And us as the facilitators and the communicators, we're kind of putting our stamp of approval, saying we check this person out and they're doing this and they're doing that. So we really need our guests to show up in the world too, in the right place.
And I think it's also very important to adjust the way you are going to communicate, because there are a lot of people who are used to being on stage. They're used to having the stage, just commanding, just speaking, and now you are doing this thing called interaction. and they forget that sometimes, and it becomes all about their stage again and kind of losing it. So, I think if you're going to be a guest, remember the format that you are in, and that it is conversational, which means that you have to speak with each other. And, we get triggered by what somebody says, right? They'll say something, let's take that somewhere. Let's explore that even further. And that's the beautiful organicness of it. As you said, off script, we know we're talking about this topic. But I don't know about you, but I'm just as much in discovery as my audience.
Oh, I am. Right? I am too. That's why I said I don't like it pre-recorded. I like to give some open-ended questions to be able to navigate it.
Yes.
But that's why people are coming to alternative media, like podcasts, Facebook Lives. Number one, they're tired of the continuous cycles and endless loops of all the major network
Yes.
over and over. I mean,
Mhm.
ingrained. My mother's 89 years old, and bless her heart, she said, "Baby, just leave it on. It's breaking news." I said, "It's breaking news. It's been breaking all day."
Yes,
And so they
it's
got caught
literally
up in that.
snapping it in two.
Right,
Yeah.
it's the propaganda, it's the
Yes.
negativity. So when they come to podcasts, when they come to video blogs, they are looking for a unique vibe. They're looking for content. They're looking for a unique story. They're not looking for commercial breaks and advertisers.
No.
They're looking for a conversation, like you said, a dialogue between two people that is going to enlighten them, that's going to awaken them, and it's going to really impact their brain.
Unfiltered. This
Absolutely.
is the thing. There's nobody coming in telling us what we can and cannot say. There are ethics, obviously,
Right.
and
Oh,
there is
absolutely.
respect, and there's a code of conduct. But the people are free to actually express what they want to say without any producer coming down their throat saying,
Right.
you can't
Right.
say that. And so I think this is why podcasting or vodcasting has really, taken over, is
Right.
because you are getting the experts. And, way back, you're 8 years, I'm 7 years. When you mention podcasting, people go, what?
Yeah.
What's that? And,
Hello?
and now it is one of the leading formats of people getting their information. You
Right.
even see news and comedy and everything else from
Right.
the TV set going into podcasting to continue the interview. And
Right.
that's because we can listen to it when we want. We can truly share it. We can converse with it with other friends, and we can listen to it over and over again if we need to.
Yes.
And we can really get that honesty that's there. Is there, we've all got our favorites, and they're for different reasons, but there must have been certain people that have stayed with you, that you have back on over and over again, or it just like warms your heart to think of them.
Oh, yes. Oh, there's so many guests. There's been so many mentors. I had the world-renowned Jane Elliott. She did the
Mm.
Blue-Eyed, Brown-Eyed Project on racial injustice. I've had, oh my goodness, I have Cyrus Webb, who is also a media mogul. He's doing the Academy Awards right now and the Emmys. He's now working with OWN Network, and he was actually the first person that introduced me to podcasting.
Hmm.
So that always warms my heart to think about him and what I have been able to do, the different stories, Bitcoin, art,
Yes.
entertainment, love, women's health, science, all of those wonderful things, and what I have learned. Again, like I said, I think that I'm the head brain here. I have learned so much, and I take pride in being able to do the research to really let my guests shine, to let them know that I've made the investment in them, that I've
Yes.
taken that extra half an hour, 30 minutes to really find out who they are and to connect them on my social media platform, all of them. So, again, I can't thank my guests enough for what
No.
they
No.
and the followers. I want to honor
Yeah.
them too, because again, it's not easy to get people to follow you.
No, no, it isn't. And, especially when you do such a diverse, spectrum of topics and
Right.
people, because, I don't know about you, but it's always, well, what is your podcast about? And I go, I'm a network. The podcast is about many, many, many topics.
Right.
Um,
I'm a variety show. I just put
exactly,
it under that.
exactly.
Right.
So you're not a one-note person. You're bringing the orchestra to the table here, and
Absolutely.
you're interviewing the people with their different instruments, right?
Correctly.
And
Correct.
and it really just sometimes the things that you discover from your guests, not just what they've done or who they are, but revelations that
Oh,
we get. It's just mind-blowing, isn't it?
it is. It is. It's just, and then it makes you want more, to want
Yes.
to know more. You want
Yes.
to be more engaged. Okay, so now who do they know, and
Yeah.
how did this connect with that, and how did this connect with this? I mean, again, like science and research,
Mm.
I love that. I've always
Yes.
loved that as a child, and to have scientists on my show, and they
Mhm.
tell me what's new in technology and artificial intelligence and CBD oil and all of
Mhm.
these things. You really are a well-rounded person. You're a great conversationalist, because you can go anywhere and have a
Right.
conversation with anybody, and they'll think, "Oh wow, she's so well read."
Yeah. Well, I think what it is, I'm conscious based. Everything
Mm,
I do and everybody I interview is about raising our
mm,
consciousness into to love, kindness, and caring. And what we're doing, is it making our lives better and the lives better of all humanity and this planet. So
right.
that's the common denominator. But I also get to interview people that are out there literally changing laws, changing industries the way they're done, scientists that are bringing about that conscious awareness, igniting our vibration into a higher hertz so that we actually are resonating on a higher frequency. I can't speak to detail to the science. I wouldn't do it justice.
No,
but what I do, I just speak to the consciousness of what it means to us and how it enables us to be better human beings. People keep harping on the problem. I interview people with so many solutions, as you do too. Why are we not paying more attention to the people with the solutions? And why are we not putting more behind that?
And people right now, unfortunately, I don't know if you are a conspiracy theorist, but I am to a degree. I believe in chemtrails. You see all these big puffs of smoke in the sky. I think it's evil juice that they're sprinkling down on people right now, because I tell you, here in the United States, I have never seen so much ugliness.
I know.
Just boldly, you can agree to disagree and not be disagreeable.
Yes.
You can have your opinion. I will allow you your space. I will honor your space. But just to be blatantly rude and disrespectful of women and all of this, I just really think that everybody's got some ugly juice going on. But when they tune into On the Edge with April Mahoney, or they tune in with you, Sarah Troy, it's a different perspective. And so what we really have to do is we have to work a little bit harder. We got to pull those people back in, because a lot of them are getting lost out there in this blatosphere, like I said, of endless cycles of, loops of negativity. They need to, turn off the device, listen to some music, go for a walk, write in their journal, play with their kids, play with their dog, maybe just sit in silence and try to really take appreciation of the moment, because we exist moment by moment. It's not day by day.
The gift of the present is in the now.
That is
absolutely.
Absolutely. And so we really need to be conscious of that, and we need to don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted, because your next breath could be your last.
Right, and that's the gift of the present. This is what we have right now, and what are we going to leave? What's going to be written on our tombstone, so to speak, right? Did we run away from everything? Did we bury our head in the sands? Did we join the hate bandwagon? Or did we step up and take ownership, take responsibility for our own choices, and decide to become a person that has something to contribute? And, when we look at the turmoil that's going on in the world right now, I call it a shake it up to wake it up. And for us to step up, to change it up. And, when we see the actual worst of humanity in our face, and nobody seems to be able to pull the plug on it. And it's going on and on and on. And we're seeing more and more people in high anxiety, more and more stress, more and more diseases coming about because of this. It's somewhere along the line, we do have to wake up and say enough is enough. And one of the things is switch off that news. Stop buying into the hysteria, because we've got to understand fear sells. It sells very well. Yes. It breaks down your body. Have you ever heard of the Yamamoto water experiment?
No.
It's 3 glasses of water in 3 different rooms. One is ignored, one is given hate, the other one is given love. The ignored water, chemistry doesn't change. The hate water turns black and goes dense, and the love water turns into crystallization that you can measure into a higher frequency. We are 70% water. Our brain is mostly water.
Wow.
You imagine all this hate and discord and unease being bombarded at us all the time. It does cloud our judgment to make better choices, because the water's changed in our brain. It does cause disease, because water is not feeding our organs. And so we have to make a choice somewhere along the line to stop buying into the fear, and to start injecting more of that love, more of that caring, more of that kindness, more of those solutions within us, to change our chemistry, to raise our vibration, because that is what is one of the huge solutions in the world, rising up to a higher vibration of love.
Yeah, All we need is love. Love.
Yes,
Love is
yes.
all we
Love
need.
makes the world go round. Yes.
We can
And
sing love songs all
yeah,
day.
yeah.
But people really need to enact in that. And, love is a big responsibility. I think
Yes,
that's part of, one of the 10 commandments. It's just like happiness.
yes.
You have to continue to chase it. You have to continue to work on it. You have to continue to nurture it, but also modify. Because people say unconditional love. Now, let me ask you a question, Sarah Troy. Do you believe in unconditional love? Because I don't know.
No.
There's a lot of conditions on people's love. You kill my kid, I don't know if I can love you through that. Even if you step on my dog's paw, and is disrespectful, but love, like happiness, is what is the next thing that's going to keep me in that mindset. How do you suggest to us, based on your wonderful background, how do we stay in a place of contentment? How do we just mellow out and level out and just be cool for a minute without having to be so, up and down?
It takes work. It does. But I think it also takes, again, the choice. We've got to understand we are divine creatures, and this has got nothing to do with God. It is to do with the universal energy. It's to do with a design force of information. And when we choose to open up to that divine information and let it resonate with the heart, and the heart is ignited, it goes into the spirit interaction, and the mind will know what it needs to know when it needs to know it. But that is a choice in allowing that knowledge to come to us, and not thinking the knowledge, but feeling it, and acknowledging feelings that we have and understanding where they come from. Are you in hate because you're in fear, or you're in ignorance? Or have you chosen to love something because you have chosen to care for it, to be kind to it, to ignite it into a higher plane?
Right.
We have to do that work on ourselves first. We have to find that space within ourselves that we love, that we care for, that we're kind to ourselves, that we ignite that heart within us. Then we start seeing things differently. We start interacting differently. We start projecting differently. We start rising up into a higher level of love, where we start inviting people to meet us at that level. And so there's not a lot of work to be done on others around us. It's on us in raising our vibration that then becomes invitational to other people to rise up and meet us at that level. So
it becomes infectious.
Yes. It's I don't deal with people that are in the hate fest or anything. They don't come to me because they can't reach me.
Right.
They're vibrating at that level. I'm at this level.
Right. I got you.
If you want to step into love and kindness and caring, hey, I'm open. Let's have that conversation.
Right.
But be the solution you want. Be the love you seek. Be the peace you require. When you become it, you invite it.
Right.
You invite it not only to come to you, but you invite other people to rise up and become it themselves.
Right. Because you are a mirror image of that. And you reflect that. And it makes me feel so good that when I hear my guests, I always have them do a survey after they conclude their interview with my show. And I go back and I read the comments, and some people have told me that my podcast has changed their life. Tears stream down my face that I have been able to have a vehicle for people to come and share their truth and who they are, and they evolve to that higher frequency.
Yes.
And again, people liking your show and sharing your show, and wanting to be a guest on your show, wanting to invite you into their lives. So again, it's wonderful. So I get you. It is infectious because you do draw it to you. It's like the diaper. You draw it to you.
Yes. And drawing an awful lot of people who are at the crossroads of life, in that transitional redirection. And that redirection is kind of, I've lost my job, or I've lost my home, or I've, in a divorce, or I've, become ill with a disease, something happening, a loss of some kind, which is generally what it is. I always look at it this way: mourn what you've lost, but now look upon it as an opportunity to what you can gain. Because now you have a clear canvas in front of you. Now paint what you really want out of life, how you really want to be in life, how you want others to be to you, because this is now a clean slate that you've been given in order to paint your life.
I'm a firm believer that you have to teach people how to treat you, Sarah.
Yes, I agree. And,
Because they will come up with some trickery and have you thinking that you're somebody else.
Yes. Yes.
As we say, they will flip the script on you, okay?
You're right. It's a little bit like the Star Wars things. These are not the droids you want,
Right,
and it's like,
right.
I'm not the person you want to harm,
Right.
and that, again, it comes what you resonate out, what you frequent out.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree with you 110%. That's wonderful.
So, other than your podcasting, you have a site and you do many other things. How about you share the other side of April?
Oh my goodness. The other side of April. Well, I'm a social activist.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that I have one particular cause. I support many causes, and I lend, my time, my energy, my resources, fundraise, do host events. But this year is something different for me. This is a little bit of a year of saying no.
Mm-hmm.
I am a giver to a fault.
Yes.
Always yes, 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 yes. So me and my husband kind of had a conversation, and he goes, you know what? How about having a quarter or half of a year? Just no, this doesn't work for me right now. The timing's not good. Really do a lot of introspective work, because what happens again, if I'm showing up 100, is that you kind of feel taken advantage of. But you cannot be taken advantage of unless you allow it. And
exactly.
You allow that. And so I had to pull back and say, you know what? A lot of these things that I have been doing, I'm not going to do. If I volunteer for a cause, now I'll give them, instead of during the whole 6-month planning, I'll give you 40 hours.
Mm-hmm.
A good hard 40,
yeah.
And use it wisely. So I do that. And then also my dream this year is to write a documentary.
Ah, wonderful.
Now, I am a spoken word poet and author.
Mm-hmm.
I've self-published 3 books, and I've sold over 10,000 copies of those books out of the trunk of my car. So one of the books that I wrote, I'm going to create monologues, and we're going to do a community play. But then we're going to morph that into a documentary. I don't want to talk too much about it right now because it's in the formative stages. But I am so excited. I'm out of my comfort zone. It's something I've never done before. I'm working with some, top-notch professionals, some great people that I just met at a event a few weeks ago. And so I'm ready to change that vibration. I'm ready to step out on faith and just see where it lands. I've already saw myself at the Cannes Film Festival.
Right.
I can taste it on my tongue. So I am going to manifest it into existence. So stay tuned.
Isn't that exciting? I mean, I'm constantly evolving and constantly expanding, because that's what we do. We see the need for something else or another way to express ourselves. And there is no age bracket. There is no time bracket. It's everything that you've ever done before is in your backpack to help you take this next journey. And, for people who want to know, well, I want to know what the plan is and what are we going to do Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, forget it. What you need is a blueprint of how you would like to see it go. And then you need to step out there in trust, in faith, and allow it to happen. By staying tuned into yourself, you'll keep it on compass, right? Into what you want to do. Good for you. Good for you.
Some of the things are going to be hit and miss, but that's how I'm going to learn.
Yes, exactly.
That's how you learn.
And it's always about, oh, no, I shouldn't have done this, disaster. It's like, oh, God, that was a wrong move. Okay, redirect.
Right.
Try another path, right?
Right. But you have to be bold to do that. And, again, not worry about the criticism. You know?
Yes.
Everybody, if they're not, I have a philosophy. If they're not talking about you, you're not big enough. You're not big enough.
And of course, everybody knows better. And, I don't know about you, but, you're always getting advice from people who have no idea about your industry.
Right.
Well, you should do it like this, and you should do it like that, and you should be like this person. And I said, guess what? I'm Sara. I do it like Sara.
Right.
You do it like April.
And I was doing everything that you said doing. I'd be an employee. And
Yes, exactly. And I think this is where we've also gone wrong in life, is we're so busy trying to be other people that we are missing out on who we really are. If we spent that same energy on ourselves, on that loving and igniting and projecting who we really are from the inside out, exploring who we are from the inside out. That's why it's self-discovery, media. We will realize actually how we've been selling ourselves short and just how awesome we are. I never knew from the first time I did a show with another network live. I pressed all the wrong buttons.
Mm,
And 13 months live, if people disappearing in the middle of a show or you dropping out or this happening, because we have no control over the internet. That's
right.
not
Absolutely.
anything
Absolutely.
we can control. But then, I went into my own shows where everything is pre-recorded, so any mistakes we can rectify, but also owning them along the way. I never
Oh, right.
knew I'd be able to do what I'm doing today. I'm wearing as many hats as I'm wearing.
Right.
And it's exciting because I keep discovering more about me and what I'm capable of doing, just like you are. And
Right.
isn't that wonderful? I mean, it gives us, another
Exciting.
reason to keep on living, right?
It is. It's exciting. And I kept a journal 2 years ago. Every day I learned something new, and I wrote down everything
Yeah.
I learned new. It was 365 things that I had just, it was
Yes.
so simplistic. And I was
Yes.
like, wow. So I encourage people to do that. Every day is an opportunity to learn maybe a new direction, to go somewhere, to cook a different meal, to try a different spice, to speak a different language. Every day, every minute is an opportunity to do something better than you've done before or different than you've done before. That is what life is about.
Right.
Is about learning to live, to be innovative, to be free. My mentor told me one time, she says, the word freedom, she says, are we afraid to be free?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we free to be afraid?
Mm-hmm. Nice
You
one.
know? And
Nice
so
one.
so you really have to figure out where you are with that. And fear is okay. Fear is a part of the boundary, but sit with it, embrace it, hold it, nurture it for a minute. Don't stay there. Don't get stuck.
No.
But
Yes.
absolutely, you have to identify it. What am I afraid of? Who am I afraid of? Is this real or is this fictitious? It's only in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Where could I be? Where can I go if I step beyond this fear? If I'm stuck here, I'll never know.
Right.
So again, you have to open yourself up and feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah. I say emotions have a reason. You're in emotion as a reaction to what's going on. And
Right,
so, tap into your emotions, but don't become emotional about it.
right,
Right? Because when you get stuck in an emotion, it's like worrying, a sore. You keep worrying it, it's not going to heal.
right.
Why am I this and why am I that? Why am I depressed? Well, you're just depressed because there's so much bad news out there and it's bringing you down. Put on something happy and dance, lift yourself out of it, step into another emotion. And, also I think we're so governed by what I call our matter, the vehicle that we're in, this body. And everything reflects back to our body, the way we look, what we eat, where we go, what we can do. And we
Right,
forget that beautiful spirit, the heart consciousness, and also our divine presence. And
right,
when we work in sync with that as a whole human being, that's when I think we truly understand the exploration and that there's so much more to us and there's so much more that we could do and that we're not limiting ourselves just to this matter, just to this body.
right. Well, again, like I said, it is a willingness.
Yes.
Because people are looking for outside influences. They go to
Mm.
motivational speakers, they go to counselors, they go to drugs, they go to alcohol. They're looking for an outside influence when they have not changed the neuro-linguistic programming in their own head.
Yes.
They have not really done the deep soul searching. And then sometimes that can be a little, overwhelming too. How deep do you really want to go? Some people don't want to do that.
No.
They don't want to do the work. Again,
No.
find where you are. Be comfortable where you are. Be honest with where you are. I may not be at this place right now, but I'm looking into it. But don't stay stuck.
No.
That's my word to you, is to keep moving like we've done. You just got to keep trekking ahead. It may not work in this particular situation or that particular situation, but believe and trust. If you hang in there long enough, it will come to fruition. It will. I'm a witness.
Yeah. It's a willingness, to explore, to understand there is so much more, and to not sell yourself short,
Right.
to not be apologetic for your existence.
Right.
You're here for a reason. You look at a corporation, the janitor is just as important as the CEO.
Oh, yes.
If somebody walks into an organization and it's dirty and it's tardy and, immediately you look at the organization and say, they haven't got it together.
Right.
Right? How can they represent me? How can I do business with them? That janitor has just set the stage. to where you're going to receive people. So that janitor is just as important. So this hierarchy that you're only important if you're CEO, or you're only important if you're rich, you're only important if you drive a Ferrari, you're only important if you're famous, is a whole lot of codswallop. It is about who you are, what you contribute, what is your service to mankind, what heart and love do you step into, and being who you are is enough, right?
Right. Well, again, they're always trying to, look at the cup. Is it half empty or is it half full?
Yes.
And so just drink from it, just sip from it.
It's half empty of water, but maybe it's full of air. It's all full of something.
Right. I did that. That's good. And, again, people just to be fair with yourself is all I ask. No great big expectation. You talk to people and they want to be a transformation person. Well, what are you going to transform me into, a frog?
A princess.
Right. So, my journey is not your journey. My story is not your story. How are we going to work together so it's a win for both of us, and both of us are able to show up in our truth? I think that that's very important. I had a very interesting conversation with a group of individuals at a conference, and my question that I posed to them is, how would the world look if we all showed up and told our truth?
Right.
Well, at the end of that, we had a round table, and after that 30 minutes, I went in my car and I cried. And I cried because truth is not fact. Truth is based off people's perception. And I was so far off the mark. I thought, okay, well, this is fact-based. If this is blue, you're not going to tell me it's blue-green. It is blue. But again, it's the other person's perception. Maybe they are seeing hues of green in that blue, versus when you ask for the facts, because we're having that, discussion here in the United States between the real news and the fake news. But what you see, what is factual, what is in front of you versus what you perceive as the truth. Right. So find your truth and then mirror that into facts, and your roadmap will be laid out before you.
Right, exactly. As a perceptions coach, it's the 4 key personalities of how we look at everything. You can have, 4 people in a room, each seeing something different.
Yes.
But when you put all of those perceptions together, now you've got a whole picture.
Right.
So to understand, our perception is only one aspect of something. It's only one point of view. And everybody else's point of view is valid from their side.
Right.
But when you lay it all out on the table and you really see what is there, it's like, when we hear people talking of people of color, or people who are of different ethnicity, people of different sex orientation, people from different countries, that are refugees or anything else. When you look at the common denominator and what we all want out of life, we're all looking for the same thing.
Right.
To love, to be loved, to be able to provide for families, to be able to do something that's contributing, to be heard, to be seen. It doesn't matter what casing we come in, or where we come from, or what our culture is. Fundamentally, we're all looking for the same thing. So when we could stop seeing each other from black, white, pink, yellow, polka dot, different religions, different sex, different this, different that, and start looking at our commonalities and start looking at our humanity, I think we will start treating each other in a different way.
Well, since the beginning of time,
that's
what the goal has been. That is what objective is. And
we're slow, aren't we?
Well, yes, we are. The thing with women, and I am going to go out and say it. So women are going to take over the planet. I don't know if everybody got my email, but
we are common sense is
prevailed. We want it all, okay? We want it all. But are we going to carry those isms with us? Sexism, racism, classism. Yes. Just because you change the gender, doesn't mean that you change the mindset. How are we going to unify the world, women, as we do this? And men, this is a message to you. Don't be disrespectful to women under any circumstance. You forget you came to her portal, okay? If it wasn't for a woman, you would not be here. You had a mother, an aunt, a sister, a daughter, all of those things. You honor women. Women, put yourself in a position so that you can be honorable.
Yes.
Hold your hair up high. Be respected. Ask for what you want. Demand for what you want. Don't be a victim. Be strategic. Stop crying and whining. Stand up there with a straight face and just, take it. Bite the bullet. Okay? You will come out victorious. But as women take it over, Men are going to have to see us in a different light.
Yes.
I don't want to be equal to a man. I really don't, but I want to be parallel. And that's a whole lot different. I want to, I've been married to Mr. Magnificent for 34 years.
Bravo.
And we walk in synchronicity, 1 foot side by side, and sometimes if I have to walk behind him, I don't mind.
Right.
And sometimes if he has to walk behind me or carry me, I don't mind. So again, there are men and women, or males and females, on this planet. Let's respect that and honor that. Just women stuff, that can be dangerous. All men with this ego stuff, what you trying to do? How's that working for you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And, it isn't, it's, obviously for people who are just listening, you are a person of color. And it's not about, black power or white power or this power. It's about human power.
Right.
It is about, this is, again, the casing that you came in, the culture, which is your beautiful spice of life that you bring to the table. But it isn't a definition of who you are.
Right.
The definition of who you are comes from the inside out. And, we don't want to be ugly from the inside. See, as you're stepping into your women's empowerment, which is stepping into your voice, stepping into your actionism, as I call it, you are empowering others to do the same.
Right.
But it's always doing it with respect, with gratitude, with common sense, and with never in your face, because otherwise we become like them, right? It's always invitational for men and women to be parallel, to take this journey together, and to understand that each one of us has our own roles to play.
Right.
And it's not for women just to be here to serve men, or men to dominate over women. You're selling the world short by doing that. When you step into the women's empowerment, look at what they bring to the table. They learn from a very early age the balance of running a home, of being brothers and sisters, of being mothers, of solving problems. Many people have gone from housewife into work, and they go, but I'm just a housewife. What do I bring to the table?
Right.
Well, your head cook, your head lover, your mother, your solution maker, your driver, your book balancer, you're the psychologist, the psychiatrist, you are everything. Look at all of those skills. Now, what can you take it into that's something you love to do? Because you're already halfway there.
Right. And you wouldn't realize how much support you have. I had a one woman that was on my show, Iante Maro. She is a mompreneur, and she had a fixation with candles. Now her candles are in the Hollywood swag bags for the Academy Award.
Right.
A mompreneur converted her garage, brought her children into the business, helped them sample the product, label it, all of that. So you really don't realize, are you a good baker? Or, do you believe, do you like to do planting or gardening? There's so many underdiscovered talents you can find for yourself. Even if it's in a philanthropic capacity. What happened to the days of joining a book club or a gardening club or a bridge club? Get out and interact with other women. Have that conversation. Do it somewhere that's not familiar to you, in a different part of your community, in a different city. Go to a conference, but step outside. And when you step outside, you'd be surprised of who you meet. You might meet another part of that 95%, because you know that we're only touching 5% of our conscious. The other 95% is the subconscious. Could you imagine sitting there figuring out who you are in that other 95%? Oh, I'll tell you. Overwhelming. Wonderful.
Yes. And this is, who wants a dull, dull life of same old, same old? I'm 64. I keep moving around. I keep exploring. I keep expanding. I started this business at 57. I am a divorcee. I have a physical ailment that travels with me. And, I do what I can do in my parameters. So if you say, well, I'm this age, I can't do it. I am broke. I've done all of this with no money. I have a disease that I have to live with. And I do it because my heart compels me to. I do it because my conscience compels me to. I do it because this is my meaningful purpose. I do it because these voices need to be heard. Find something that compels you to do it, that just hits you right in the gut and in the heart and in the spirit, and that no matter what the obstacles are that are in your way, you're going to find a way to do it. And when you ignite yourself into that passion, that's when you truly actually understand what living really is.
Go on, preach, Sister Sarah. Bring them to church, because you're absolutely right. You know, but again, and don't let fear.
No.
Let it be a boundary.
No.
Yeah, like I said, but do not let it hold you captive, because you are missing out on so much.
Right. And you know, when you listen to the wisdom of others and you're inspired by it, it doesn't mean you have to do it exactly their way.
Right.
It's not do it by numbers. What it is it's like producing your own dish. You know, you're going to use some of the ingredients, but you're going to replace that ingredient with this, and you're going to do this spice instead of that spice, and you're exploring to create your own dish.
Absolutely.
It's not doing, well, I've got to do it exactly the way they did it to have the same results. No, you're inspired by the ingredients, or you're inspired by the process, right? Now it's up to you to explore how to do it for yourself, using some of that wisdom to create your own. Right? I'm sure, I don't know if you get it. I get, why aren't you like, or you should be like, you know, why don't you do shows like? And it's like, if you wish to listen to those shows, go listen to those people.
Because
they are those people. That's the thing. This is Sara here. This is, and the people you're going to get for here are conscious people, are people that are coming from the heart, that care about humanity, that care about planet, that want to see people excel in their lives in some form or other.
Right.
And if you want to get that from someone else, I'm not going to, you know, you're either going to hear us or not hear us. It doesn't matter, right?
No. I let the haters be my motivators, because again, I'm very selective about who I guest on my show. I'm looking for a texture. I'm looking for a vibe. Consistency is what makes the cake rise.
Yes,
That's why I have been rising to the next level for the last 8 years. I'm not new to it. I'm true to it. I care about it. I craft it. I nurture it. I hold my guests in the highest esteem. I respect them for investing in me, investing in themselves, because this is a promotion of them too. It's not just about me. This is the vehicle. But it's more about you as the guest coming on here, and how can I make you shine? How can I make you illuminate to the world? So honor that when you come to our shows. Know that this is a career for us. This is not just a hobby.
No.
This is not something that's just trying to get on there and say, oh, I have a podcast. We are really true to this. We are subject matter experts. And so I just ask that people honor that and be serious about it when they come, you know, looking to get an interview on The Edge with April Mahoney.
Right. And, you know, when people actually know what goes on behind the scenes, you know, as I said, for me, it takes 5 hours for each show, for the interview, the editing, the uploading, the everything else. That is commitment. And I do it because I care. I do it because your voice needs to be heard. But the people who are going to hear it are the people that are ready to hear it. You know, how many people listen to your shows? And I said, it depends what show. Which genre, topic, at which time. Those that are ready to hear are going to hear it. And I get, because I have a huge archive of shows, 2,300, I have plenty of people that go back and listen to shows. I had somebody from Australia. You interviewed me 5 years ago. I've just got a client from that show because they found it and listened to it. And
I do that too. I honor my guests. I read those shows all the time.
Exactly.
It's brand new to the person who's never heard it.
Exactly. This information is relevant to the person who's ready to receive it now.
That's right? The student is ready, the teacher will appear. Absolutely.
Good wisdom never dies.
No.
Right? Never dies. It just is.
Nothing new under the sun. It's all recycled. It's just how it's packaged.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. And haven't heard it.
It's just a different way of using the ingredients. Right? It's a different recipe.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's a recipe for success. So yeah, I agree with you 110% on that.
I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, most certainly, you know, people, what do you get out of the shows? And I said, well, you know, never mind the inspiration and the gratification, but it's also been incredible therapy for me over the years to listen to these people and then apply, you know, some of it, to realize, oh, gosh, they're speaking to me here. You know, I do that, and I need to be aware of that. This is an area. You know, the spotlight's being put on me right now. This is an area I need to work on. I'm going to apply some of their tools. because there was a
Exactly.
reason that I interviewed him right now. I
Right.
needed to hear it,
Right. And you gain so much wisdom
Yes.
and clarity and advice. And I love to go back and listen to my own shows because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, you could have did this a little bit better, or this was a
Yep.
great show. I've got some shows my husband goes, are we listening to that again? And I'm like, yes.
Well,
You
I
know,
do my own show every week, Sarah's View of Life, which is just my perspective, whatever's kind of caught my fancy or what the topic I want to do, and it's just off the cuff, you
yeah.
know, whatever comes out. It's very,
Yeah, I
very,
do.
very organic.
My version of that is called Teachable Moments.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have great ones on how to stop swearing
Mm-hmm.
or how to make a decision.
Yeah.
Some people just cannot make indecisive people drive me nuts.
Yeah.
So either
Yeah,
you
but
want
if I
to do
do
it
this,
or
but
you
then if
don't.
I do that, yes, but that,
No, no, and then it has to be co-signed by someone else. And I don't agree with that, and I'm this and I'm that. I'm like, okay, then you're not ready. Okay,
Right.
and I honor that. And
Yeah.
again, being able to accept a no. This doesn't work
Yes.
for me. This isn't
Yes.
good for me. Okay, but be upfront with it. But stringing people along
Yeah.
ruins your credibility.
Right.
People say, they're kind of flaky. Is that somebody that I want to really kind of deal with because they can't make a decision? So
Right.
I do teachable moments. I teach people how to network.
Yes.
How to go
Important.
into non-traditional ways of thanking someone for an interview. All those kind of things are my kind of teachable moments. So I get you. I
Yeah.
love those too because that's
Yeah.
just a conversation that's rattling around in my brain, and I like to share that with my
Yeah.
listeners.
Yeah. Like, one time I
They
had
get
a
a different
guest.
insight as to who we are.
Right. Yes.
Instead of just being interviewing someone else,
Yeah.
they're saying, oh, okay, well, this is a person that has an insight on this, and they value that. They really
Right.
like
And, I'm open and honest, about who I am. As I say, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I might be somebody's strong cup of coffee.
that. Right,
And, you could take me or leave me, but this is who I am.
right,
I spent too
right,
much of my life apologizing for who I am and no more, right? And the choice is you can switch on or you can switch off. That's your
right.
prerogative. And I have other hosts here on the network that also interview. In fact, actually, I have a show this week up of all 4 of my hosts that I have currently, because they come and go as according to what's
Wow.
going on in their lives. And they are all from the States or the Caribbean, 3 women, 1 guy. And, they're people who've made their journey. And they're doing these shows because they want to share that, and they want to share others that are along that journey as well. And I think this is the candy, isn't it? The sharing. When you hear something, you want to go over to the picket fence and say, did you hear? Did
Right.
you know? You want to share. And here we get to share people with such abundant wisdom that they've learned through their journey of life. That is so awesome. And then now we can take nuggets of this and nuggets of that and apply it to our own lives.
Absolutely.
Is there anywhere else where you can get such a condensed amount of knowledge and love from one place? Podcasting is it, as far as I'm concerned.
Podcasting is it. But again, like I said, it's the delivery and being
Yeah.
serious and being consistent. If people are niching out that time to spend with you
Yeah.
once a week or at 4:00,
Yeah.
whatever, be prepared and deliver, because you'll lose your audience and then
Yeah.
you have to start all over again. And then, you lose your credibility and people aren't going to tune in. Your guests are going to say, I don't know. Be consistent, honor their time, honor their space, like I have done for all of these 8 years. Good customer service.
Yeah, hugely important.
Really,
Yes.
let them know that you appreciate them, thank them, rerun their show, share their links. I always say there's plenty of room at the top if people would just put their big fat butts over.
Absolutely. And I interview an awful lot of people with their own podcasts. And, somebody once said, oh, you're interviewing your competitor. No, I'm interviewing a colleague.
Exactly.
You're interviewing people that may be the same or different. I'd love to refer people to other people. You need to have this person on your show.
Style, and your questions are going to be different, and your audience is going to be different, and what they're wearing is going to be different. You don't have to worry about that. I mean, you see people on the major networks.
Yes.
They go. It's funny. They'll go from talk show to talk show. They'll go from the talk. They'll go to the View.
Yes.
They hit the circuit.
Yes.
And so there's a responsibility for you if you really want to, let the world know who you are. Oh, I was on a podcast. You better stay relevant. And people have short attention spans. And if you're not in their face often and regularly, you are just lost in the blatosphere. So you need to get as much publicity on as many podcasts. if they are ones that pay a service, again, this is a career for some.
Right.
So,
this is for me. I do charge for my shows.
Well, you need to pay to promote.
Yes.
We do a heck of a job promoting you and putting you out to the world, and then we walk away with oh, thanks. No, that's disrespectful.
Right.
Honor us and value our time, because this is a career for us. We take this very seriously. You see, we just talked 45 minutes about what this really means to us.
Yeah.
So this is not just something that we just randomly decide to do. We're giving our heart and soul.
Well, the thing is, too, is you're going to pay for advertising in a magazine.
Absolutely.
You're going to pay for advertising in something else.
And
it was very,
whatever.
So why are you're getting advertising here? And what you're getting is an in-depth, honestly, we're interviewing you from your core, all right? Where else are you going to get that? And when I did change over into charging, because yes, this is my career and I've many expenses in doing this. It was interesting people I'd interviewed many, many times who said, no, I don't pay for it. And I said, this is an administrative fee to cover my costs. No, I don't pay for it. And fine, then I don't interview you anymore.
Absolutely.
Because, how you come on, you like my style, you keep wanting to come back, but you can't honor.
And it is about an honor.
It's honoring.
It's not the emotional attachment.
No.
Because again, if you followed and you keep coming back and you want to come back and you like the texture and you like the vibe, then you have to understand that there's other people that are feeling the same way.
Yes, exactly.
So I have no problem with that. And I really think that, that's another challenge that women have, is that they don't make the ask because they don't value what they do.
Right. Yes. I came back to that apology. Is it enough? I'm not, Oprah. I'm not Barbara Walters. I'm not the women from the talk. So, how can I charge? Well, you're giving a service. Absolutely. Right? You're giving a service, and I've extended that service into a directory, business directory, so now they can advertise their business because you've heard the story. And, I think this is the thing. The other thing is a lot of my guests do this. They take the show and they put it up under their own media on their own page, on their websites. Right. And, I like to go into people and look at their sites, learn about them. And if they've done these other shows, then, and listen to a couple of them here and there. That I don't want to listen to the whole thing because I don't want to be influenced, but just a snippet here and there, it shows that you are somebody that really has something to say and that other people really want to know it, and then it allows other people to go in to kind of pick and choose what they want to hear there. And I
like to do that also because I like for my questions to be different. Now, you and I just concluded an interview which is totally different than the one that we're having here. This is more spiritual. This is more holistic. This is deep, engaging. The other one was more professional about what we're doing in our business and all of that kind of stuff. So people are rich with content.
Yes.
They are. And so, again, when you have different interviewers, listen for that too. When you're picking to be on someone's podcast, I mean, they might be killing puppies. And here you are, you're selling puppies.
Right, exactly. Know who they are. Yeah.
Podcast. You don't know. You want to make sure that the caliber of people, maybe they swear on their show. Maybe other people don't swear on their show. You want to make sure that it is a good fit for you as well. So don't just be excited about, the fact that someone's asked you to be on their show. Do a little research on them. Go and listen to their shows. Listen to how they interview. What is their texture? Where's their head at? It may not be a good fit for you. Right,
exactly. And don't just do it because. Especially if, somebody's a name brand just because they're popular, that doesn't mean, is it in the philosophy of your podcast? Because you have to have a philosophy. You have to stand for something. Mine is that conscious rising, that is everything is based on that conscious, the heart, soul, connection, spirit, consciousness, of action, of proaction, of the way we treat other people. That's the common denominator of my philosophy of my podcasting. So, we cover everything from, sex, religion, children, veterans, music, health, wellness, money, ecology, scientific approaches. We cover everything because it's all done from that conscious base, right? That conscious base is in everything. But if you are going to be a podcaster and you have a particular line, don't go off line there if you're not, really equipped with it, because now you look like you're, inept in the production of it. So stay within your parameters.
I'd like to see a lot more. Well, I offer 5 crash courses for people that are just starting their podcast and they want to accelerate it to that next level. And what I help them do is open up that lane. So say, for
Yes.
example, people are talking about nutrition. Well, really, Sarah, I mean, how many supplements can you talk about and have a 7-year longevity or 8-year longevity like myself?
Mm-hmm.
How do we talk about the nutrition of the mind, the body, the spirit, your financial nutrition? What's
Right.
feeding into that?
Yes.
What other kind of supplements? You have to be able to look at your guests and
Yes.
really open it up. And let me give you a tip. One of the best places to find the best guests is right in your Rolodex.
Yes.
These are people that you have talked to, that you've networked with, that you've got their card, you've got the warm fuzzy, you've already made the introduction. Go back through that, see where they are, how they're showing up in the world, even if they're still in business, and tell them what you have to offer and see if they're in line and in synchronicity with what you want to do. And you would really be surprised at how many amazing guests that you can find right up under your nose.
And of course, you get to that point where you don't need to look anymore. You get referrals. Yes.
I'm so honored that now people are like, oh, well, let me refer you and let me do this and let me do that. And I love to work with you and I'm excited and I follow your work. I go out in town. I was in a restaurant with my mother a few weeks ago and they go, there's a brain. I didn't know that people really referred to me as, there's a brain. I was like, right? Right? I'm so excited about that. So again, there is people are watching you.
Yes.
And they're following you and they're listening to you and they're really taking your advice and they're looking to you to find the right people to bring to them. That's a lot of responsibility.
I think one of the biggest things is you're up there interviewing other people, but most importantly, you must be authentically you. Don't be a persona for the camera. Don't be a persona for the microphone or just for your guests. You don't step into that role. You have got to bring you. And that means that wherever people meet you, wherever you are, that consistency of who you are is always representative.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you become fake news.
Right. Oh, God. And you turn orange.
Whammy! No.
This has been so wonderful. I love this. This has been such a great interview. Thank you so much for having me, Sarah Troy. I'm so glad that I found you. You are definitely a jewel in my crown.
There's a lot more for us to do together, clearly, because there's a synergy here. So we have got to spread those wonderful avenues and see what happens. But I want people to know, can they get any more of your books, your poetry, what's coming up, your new services, and your podcast where people can find it?
Well, let me tell you, let's start with the podcast. It is on Blog Talk Radio, World Wide Web, blogtalkradio.com/April Mahoney. On the Edge with April Mahoney. Hello, brains. It's a place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. I am on all the normal hotspots: LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Player FX, iTunes, Mixcloud, Spreaker, all of those places, and that's where I rotate my guests. I have a website that I'm going to be under construction. I think I'm going to do a landing page, but you can also find me under April Mahoney or A Good Person Productions on Facebook, and there you're really going to see how I come to life. Mm-hmm. You're going to see all the contests that I have that you can enter. You're going to see the great guest of interviews. I give them pre-publicity, post-publicity after their show. I talk them up. I connect their links to their other social media. So there's a lot. There's my testimonials. There's a lot of rich information. So just follow that feed, and that's where I am. April Mahoney.
So it'll be April Mahoney on Facebook and all the social medias?
Yes, April Mahoney, yes. And I'm on Twitter, it's April's on the Edge. And I believe it's on Instagram too, April's on the Edge. And I'll put all of the links there. That's another job within itself, trying to keep it with all these social media platforms. I picked 3. And I said, okay, after that, I'm going to have to hire an assistant because you're Pinterest and this and that. I don't do all of those. I do the main 3. So you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. LinkedIn all day long.
Yeah.
I'm there for you.
Yeah, and those are the main ones that I'm on. And actually, it's interesting because Google Plus, which I used to be on, is leaving. They're closing it down because they never made it an interactive platform. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. People say, yeah, but I only see recipes on Facebook, or only see hate things. You have to understand, well, the algorithm is what you put out is what you're going to receive. So when you actually engage with like-minded, like-interested people. That's how you build on your social media, and you will get those people that you like and interact with, and you don't need to deal with the others because you haven't liked them, you haven't followed them, they're not going to follow you.
Well,
Right?
again, I mean, you know, people are trying to get to that 5,000.
Yes.
And I would rather have 2,500 people that are really engaging and interactive in what I want to do and shared with their network than to have 5,000 people just sitting there, you know?
I'm very particular. I only like people that I think are going to be a part of it. So my numbers are low, but I know there are people that are interactive and engaged.
Well, they're quality.
Right?
They're not low.
Quality, not quantity. And I'm really
exactly. And that's what we're looking for. And that's what podcasters are looking for. We're not just looking for, we're not cookie cutter radio folks.
No.
Okay?
No. And, you know, it's like when you turn up to us, you know, you come with your authenticity.
That's right.
You come with your respect. You come with content that truly is going to benefit mankind in some way. All right? And it isn't about your ego. It isn't about you just pitching yourself or pitching a product. It is, unless that product is something that serves mankind and makes this world a better place. Because, you know, pitching, you know, go back to playing baseball. You know, it's invite. And the only way you're going to invite somebody to engage with you is if you inspire them. That's so if you want to be a guest, come with your inspiration.
That's right. Because my show is for influencers and game changers. And we're not taking any hostages, okay?
Nope.
We do not want sloppy seconds. So if you're ready to step up with your A game, and if you are ready to be thrust forward with other people, and I don't mean necessarily corporate executives.
No.
Again, I talk to everybody, anybody.
Yes, me too.
But if you are really ready to stand in your truth with your facts, come to the edge.
Yeah. And you can come over here too.
Oh, that's right. Come to Sara's. Well, you see, I'm over here, right? I'm trying to step up my game. I really admire what you do. Again, like I said, you put so much into it, a lot of work, and you're consistent and you're timely, and again, I love your voice inflection. You just even keeled, and that beautiful smile, and blue is definitely your color.
Definitely.
And I'm not just talking.
I'm a blue person.
I really, really admire you. I do. And so you are someone that I can aspire to. And I look so forward to working with you in the future. We're going to create some beautiful things. We're going to change the world with these podcasts.
Yes, we are changing the world with these podcasts. And if you want to know how, then you're going to have to go and listen to us, right? And you're going to find people like April. She's committed. No, they're not coming to take her away, haha. She's committed to what she's doing. And she does it from a place of love. She does it from a place of wanting to see people get out there, be heard, be seen, for the people that are needing to listen and that are needing to hear. All we can do is put it out there. That's all we can do. Our job is done. How people receive it and what they do with it is now their job, right? But we're going to give you those wonderful people who've gone before you, that have that knowledge that can help you propel forward. And that sometimes it's just somebody that leaves you with a wonderful smile, just a wonderful, heartwarming smile. And if we are going to spurn that, then you're not ready for the smile. Go about and be grumpy. The wrong show.
I get you for sure.
Okay, so once again, Blog Talk Radio,
www.blogtalkradio.com/April Mahoney. The show is called On the Edge with April Mahoney.
Can you spell Mahoney too for people who aren't seeing it?
Mahoney, like the month, April, springtime, Mahoney. Here you go.
And bring your brains and expect to engage them, because they're going to be ignited into action. So
That's right. That is right. And I'm so glad to be a part of Self-Discovery. Go back. You shall hear our show today, actually, and I will put that out in the blatosphere. It was really fun. It was really engaging, and it's really different. So don't expect that this is going to be a carbon copy of what you just saw. You're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yes, exactly. We have different techniques and different styles, and both of them are very, very relevant.
Yes.
Right? Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to whatever paths we're going to take together, because I know it's going to be exciting. So I look forward to that. And please, folks, don't forget to share this, because when you share it, you are forming a conversation, and that conversation ignites your brains into action. So thank you, April.
Build a tribe.
Till next time, folks. Bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. To hear more of these wonderful shows on selfdiscoverymedia.com, just look up our podcast genre list. You will see many shows archives there ready for listening. Don't forget to share these wonderful shows. And if you wish to be a guest or a host, or you have an organization that needs to be highlighted, contact us at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com. Bye for now.